Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fix Your Belief Systems with me, Dr. Greg Persley, also known as Dr. G, where we discover the 5 pillars of life, the secrets, the tricks, the strategies that help you build the life that you want on your terms in your relationships, your business or career, your health, your finances, and also your belief or faith. And I'm bringing amazing guests that have done amazing things in each of these pillars and have really achieved a lot in their lifetime and done it in such a short period of time as far as my guest is today. So I'm going to introduce you guys to Chance. Chance and I met earlier this year, and he has created, and you got to hear this, he has created over $50 million in online sales from cold traffic alone. He has cracked the direct paid traffic code. He is basically, he is earned, I would say, and you and your partner, you have the $50 million award from ClickFunnels and is one of the most profitable YouTube advertisement accounts in 2020. In 2015, Chance Welton and his team set out to create an educational platform to teach modern day online business models to help everyday folks break out of the 9-to-5 grind. So many people are in that 9-to-5 grind right now. Fast forward to today, and over 20,000 students have completed one or more of the online business training sessions and have created successful online 6 to 7 figure passive and semi-passive businesses. Now Chance is consulting and scaling coaching businesses from 0 to multiple 7 figures. And it is my absolute pleasure to bring Chance Welton on today. Thanks for being here, man. I really appreciate you.
Dr. G, good to see you. Thank you so much for having me on the show. We got to meet at David Meltzer's spot out there in Vegas and just kind of kept in contact, and it's an honor to be here.
You know, first impressions are a big thing and very important. And I really, I met hundreds of people that weekend, and you stood out. I remembered you because of your tagline, Chance, not the rapper. You're like, yeah. Hey, I'm not the rapper. I'm Chance Welton. I'm the guy that's going to make people money online in passive and help them scale their coaching businesses. And man, that really stood out. I was like, dude, that's genius. You connected yourself with somebody that's well-known. You're well-known. Like, man, let's talk a little bit about how people can get out of that 9-to-5 grind, what you can do for them and how you develop this skill.
We live in an amazing time in life. It's easier to make money now so than it ever has been up until this point. I remember growing up, I worked on a farm. My dad had a couple hundred acres out in Marsing. And back then, really before the internet was created, we didn't have all this software of AI and automations, and you could pop up a website in 30 seconds and you could have AI write your copy and design your videos. Before all of that, it's like back then, it seemed like you had to either have a lot of land or a giant factory or a huge car lot. It's like the only people that I knew that were wealthy had like huge pieces of land, massive farms, massive ranches. And obviously that's a lot of overhead, a lot of money, a lot of assets. And for the most part, it was passed down 3 or 4 generations. And, it was, if you were making over 100 grand back then, like you were killing it. You were killing it. And so I grew up working very hard on a farm, and I always felt like, gosh, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. And so that set me on this path to always learning. I just became such a student of life. Anybody that was doing something amazing, incredible, whether that was mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, financially, they were a strong dad, an awesome husband, an amazing mother, a rad uncle, a wealthy person, whatever it was, if they were doing something that inspired me, I learned from them. I became a student of life. College was never a thing that I wanted. And I didn't want to be in a traditional job. I kept changing jobs when I was a kid because I thought, oh, it's just the job. I'm not being fulfilled. It's just the job. It's just my manager. It's just the situation I'm in. So I just kept changing. About every 3 months, I'd get a new job, whether I got fired or I just stopped showing up, like just quitting. And eventually I was a massage therapist at Equinox, and they always talk about surround yourself with the right people. And all the people that are coming through there in Santa Monica are celebrities, actors, super wealthy people. All the trainers are like the best in the country. It's all super in great shape, great mindset, just really high energy, incredible place to be. And, like Dave Chappelle would come and work out there, saw all kinds of people. And there was like this buzz that was happening in this gym. People were really excited about life. People were doing the most interesting things. I would sit and just talk with people when I was having a smoothie or my coffee in the cafe and just be like, what do you do? Like, what gets you excited? And really got to learn how people were creating their dream life, based on leveraging their personal brand or really just leaning into what they're passionate about and then just going and creating it for themselves. And I remember one guy said, Chance, I was obsessed with the fitness industry and I wanted to start making my own products and eventually build my own business. So what I did for 5 years is I went and I found the best company to work for and I went and worked for them and I learned everything on their dime. I learned about marketing. I learned about copywriting. I learned about how a website needs to be put together. I learned about why people buy things. And then I went out and created my own fitness band and already had laid a solid foundation of really getting there. And I thought that was really inspiring. And I said, well, what even got you onto this whole path of, wanting to make passive income, wanting to build, your own business? And he said, well, somebody handed me this book, The 4-Hour Work Week. I think you'd really appreciate it. And so the next day he brought it to me at work. And this is in 2013. And he handed me the book. And I think I read through the whole thing over the weekend and my mind was being blown that you could outsource everything. You could find web designers that you could pay, a couple bucks an hour that were overseas that were extremely talented, ways to automate your business. I was like, you must need like 20, 30 employees to go run a big e-commerce store. And I come to find out it's like one person running e-commerce stores that are doing, millions of dollars a month. And it blew my mind. So I thought, you know what, I got to figure this whole 4-hour work week thing out. And, at the time, I was actually a massage therapist and I was running my own business. I had private clients. I thought, well, how do I get more business for my own business? I saw massage NZs popping up everywhere. And I was like, they're not out at, I was doing a lot of, face-to-face marketing, meeting people at the gym. I used to go to the farmers markets and set up my massage chair and meet people that way. And I was like, Massage Envy isn't here. And how are they popping up offices all over the place? And I started to see what they were doing online. It's like, man, they're running ads on Facebook. They're running ads on Yelp. They show up in the Google search listing. I'm like, how does all this stuff work? And so I started going down these rabbit holes of trying to understand how do these people show up on the internet? Yeah, like I never even used a computer really up until that point. So I started going down this rabbit hole and eventually ended up learning how to do search engine optimization and SEO. And so I started doing it for my own business. It was working. So I went out there and thought, hey, I can sell this to other business owners. And I went out there and started selling it to other small business owners to help them generate leads through SEO and paid advertisement. And that scaled extremely fast. I quit doing massage therapy, quit all my other side hustles, became obsessed with the online space. And now I've been coaching and building our brand for almost 8 or 9 years at this point, teaching people how to do the same thing of creating passive money and creating online businesses. And from there, that continued to scale because I thought, not everybody wants to do lead generation and SEO. Like, what are these other cool hacks to making money online with leveraging other platforms? So I was like, you can go out and you can rent out properties on Airbnb and co-list with somebody and own zero real estate and make great passive money renting out other people's homes. You can do the same thing with like finding products out there, putting them on Amazon, selling them on Amazon. It's like, that's where all the buyers and sellers are already going. So what I started to understand is like, why go out there and recreate the wheel? If you can leverage platforms to go out there and make money. I have a friend that does it with Turo. He owns 30 some cars and he has his own car rental company through Turo. It's like, there's so many things out there that you can leverage to go out there and make passive income. It's a very exciting time to be alive.
I agree with you, man. That was a lot of great information. But one of the things that I always talk about are the 5 A's. And the first one is becoming aware. And until you're aware that there's other options, and then number 2 is that you have to acknowledge the fact that maybe there's better ways than the way you're currently doing it. I was listening to Gary Vee not too long ago, and he was talking about, so many people are saying people don't want to work nowadays. He's like, well, the problem is that there's the internet, and there's so many ways to make money on the internet. He's like, you don't have to work at Kmart if you don't want, but you can go to the internet and you can make money off of there if you just learn how to do that. And that's something that I think a lot of people are scared of. I know I've spent a lot of time trying to figure that out and and trying to put all those things together, because there are pieces that you have to know, but that's where, somebody like you comes into play, where you go, look, you've already figured it out, man. Can I just learn from what you've already figured out, and we can work together to make that happen? So if somebody is, let's say they're in a coaching business, most coaching businesses kind of stall because people do the one-on-one coach. They maybe get up to $30,000 a month, maybe. But you're an expert at getting them over $100K per month. So, how does somebody do that? How do you get a coaching business to do over $100K per month?
That is a very great question. And the first answer to that is, so many people just want to go out there and coach and may not have an audience, or their offer doesn't really solve a problem in the market. So many people now are just regurgitating what everybody else is doing and just kind of putting their own logo on it and trying to sell the same information. It's like, that doesn't work. Like, you can't resell Grant Cardone. You can't resell Russell Brunson. You can't resell Hormozi. Like, you have to become an authentic version of yourself and truly find a need in the market. Like, that's what you're getting paid to do, is to solve someone's problems. The reason why they're going to come to a Dr. G, or they're going to come to me, or they're going to come to some expert in their field, is because they're like, hey, I have a pain point. I want it solved fast. I'm tired of me trying to figure it out. I'm willing to shorten the time gap between where I'm at and where I want to be by paying you money to speed up my process. So if you truly are solving a major problem in the market, then yes, it's very easy to scale past 30K. But I think, so many coaches get focused on, I got to build my personal brand, and my website's got to look amazing. I got to speak on all these stages. I got to have a podcast. I got to have a book out. I have to win at all these games before I can actually go out there and really help people. And again, it's just, there's so much noise out there. It's not their fault for being confused and overwhelmed. But I would say the very first step is, you don't need to worry about all of that. It's like really figuring out, what value are you going to add to the market? What problem or problems are you going to solve? And who specifically are you talking to? I remember in our first conversation, he said, hey, I'm helping small business owners go from 100,000 to 3 million. I said, well, if you're speaking to everyone, you're speaking to nobody. If you really focus in on, you're a doctor, speak to doctors. I'm coaching this other guy right now. He helps fathers and husbands become elite dads and have amazing relationships with their wives, like marriage is a gift. And again, he was doing the same thing. Like, I'm just going to go help all dads and all fathers. But it's like, you're not going to resonate with, more of a, you're not going to resonate in every market. So I said, what is your background? He's like, as a first responder. I'm like, boom, the true pain of a first responder. How did you overcome those things? That's the reason why you've gotten to where you are right now, is because you were seeing the struggle, right? You were suffering from alcohol. You were suffering from not wanting to, like, your house was he calls, my house was a war zone. It wasn't a safe zone.
I'm like, pretty common though, especially in the coaching industry. It would not just in coaching. It's just in business in general. People want to help everybody. And that's so hard to niche down a lot of times, because you get scared that, well, my niche will be too small. And, am I really going to be able to have enough people in that pipeline? And then you think of how many people are actually out there. And you start to think in terms of that. Like, in order for you to have a $100,000 per month coaching business, if you have an offer that's $1,000, you need 100 people every month, right? I mean, so 100 people out of 7.4 billion on Earth, like, that's it. You need 1,200 a year. That's crazy if you think about it, right? And so I think the numbers, don't lie. And also the coaching industry is really growing. There was a report I was pulling up earlier. It said that coaching industry generated a staggering $4.5 billion in annual revenue, which is a 62% increase since 2019. How crazy. And they say it's going to continue at that pace pretty much. That the trend is that it's going to continue growing, and it's going to be in the, $20 to $40 billion per year range in the next couple decades, which is crazy. What do you think?
I've seen it even faster than that. When I was interviewing Gary Vee on Meltzer's show, I said, where do you see the future of education going? And he said, the next 5-10 years, you're not going to see traditional colleges anymore. You're not going to see the traditional system that we see, because the educational system is outdated. People don't need 10 years, 12 years, 18 years to learn the information, right? We need to condense it because we can save time, we can save energy, and we can have more rapid growth in the economy. The average person that graduates from college right now, the workforce has already surpassed them. They're already outdated by the time they graduate. It's like it's an outdated system. So the online coaching space, digital information, online education is going to be, it's like 3 or 4xing every year. I think by 2026, it's supposed to be at 30 to 40 billion.
That's crazy. Yeah. Billion. Yeah. And if you could have a little slice of that pie, you could probably double, triple, or even quadruple your income if you know what to do. I mean, so one of the things though that people, I think about a lot in building a brand is they want to do it fast. And I always say one of the biggest mistakes I made in business was I tried to do things, I was in a hurry. There's a difference between pushing the envelope and being in a hurry and being anxious. So how can you stay behind that, that veil of anxiety where you're not like stressed and scared and worried and panicked, but also build a brand fast? I mean, what kind of, tips do you have in that?
Well, one thing is if you sell an offer versus a product, you can scale the crap out of it and you can refine it and make it better and get immediate feedback much faster than if you create a physical product or even like a hands-on service, right? So when you create an offer, a coaching, an info business, something that you can create and you can fix immediately, you'll get immediate feedback and you can scale much faster. So when you're wanting to build, I think people get building a business and building a brand confused, because especially a lot of the big people out in the coaching world or in the business world are saying like, build your brand, build your brand, build your brand. I love Uncle G. I've learned a lot from him in sales and the way that he just like gets after it. But, he's like, go out and build your brand. It's like, well, when you put out a post with your 6 million followers, I don't even know what he's at this point, and you say, hey, go opt in for my $7 course, and you have 38% of your following that's going to see that reel because you're trending so hard. It's like, yeah, you're going to go make a couple $1 million off of your brand by one post, but that is not the norm for everybody. So he has built a very strong brand, absolutely, and in turn has built a massive business. But for those of you that don't have the 3 to 5 year time span to build your brand organically, there's other hacks that you can do in the meantime, because for you to be able to start making money, whatever that number is, for you to fully commit on your coaching business, like for you to fully be like, okay, I'm going to put everything into this so that I can go help the masses and have more impact around the world instead of, just my little gym or just my little clinic or whatever you're working on, whatever your business is, then it's really finding that product market fit is number one, understanding the problem in the market, and then finding your exact avatar. I'm talking about age. I'm talking about where they live. I'm talking about their habits. I'm saying like really understand them, because with our offers, we've had the same exact offer, the same exact coaching program, but it's been my face and then it's been a stay-at-home mother. Same ad, same VSL, same product, same everything, brought in 2 completely different audiences based on the face, the story, the problems that one product was solving specifically for each one of us. Mm-hmm. So just that alone. So that's top of funnel, is really figuring that out. And then what you do is you can literally go and make an organic post on your Facebook, your Instagram, your social media, wherever it is, and just say, hey, whoever you're calling out, hey, mothers that are struggling with breastfeeding, mothers that are struggling with sleep training, dads that are struggling with the relationship with their kids, chiropractors that are struggling, not breaking through XI, whatever that pain is, saying that, and then saying, hey, what I've been able to do with a very few small, whatever number of clients, I've been able to help them do this without this false belief, this without this false belief, this without this false belief. Lay it all out and say, hey, I'm going to coach 5 people for free over the next 30 days. Comment below me if you want help with this. Something very simple like that, and get a couple people in there and then take them through your coaching process and say, the only thing I ask from you is I want your honest feedback. I want a testimonial if I had radical change in your life. And I want you to give me direct, honest feedback if for some reason you did not see value in this process. And right there, you already create that immediate feedback loop of, You think you have the right product, well, get your ideal clients, get 5 of them, bring them in, work with them for 30 days, and find out if you're really adding value to the market, and survey them and ask them, like, how could it be better? What are they still struggling with? What other product could you give to them? Because by you surveying your current customers or your current clients will give you all the answers that you need of what to create next and how to make it better.
I love that, because that's something that comes straight out of what Hormozy's been saying lately, is give your stuff away for free, and figure out, get people in that are in your immediate contact. Look in your phone. Gary Vee talks about that a lot. He's like, man, you've got millions and millions of dollars in your phone of contacts. Look in your phone, start going through it, figure out, what you're going to try to help people with, and just ask people, hey, you already know me. He puts them into 3 categories: people that you definitely know, they know you; people that kind of know you; people that you've contacted in the last few months; and then people that, you very rarely contacted ever. If you put them into those three buckets and send messages to those 3 individual groups and say, hey, here's what I'm doing, like you just said, here's who I'm helping, here's the problem I'm solving. Do you know people like that? I'm going to, get the first 10 people, 5 people, whatever it is, for free in order to refine your process. And I think that's a lot of times what people don't want to do, is they don't want to put that initial work in to figure out, who am I actually serving, and is that my product or service actually working? They jump the gun. They go, I'm going to build my website, I'm going to build my coaching program, I'm going to build all this stuff, but they haven't done it for anybody yet.
Yep.
Doing it first is what makes the biggest impact. And then you can say, oh, I know this is going to work and I get an outcome. Now I can start selling the actual service and product on the back end.
Yep.
Cool. So, man, what advice do you have to, young or even, entrepreneurs in their middle of their life, or even later in their life? I know a lot of times people start later in their life. I mean, what advice do you have for them to get started?
It's a great question. In every industry, in every age group, in every chapter in life, people need coaches. People need mentors. That's never gonna change. And let's even say that there's, 100 coaches out there that are trying to talk to the same audience. Say there's 100 that have a similar product. There's only a handful of them that are going to actually go out there and hit big numbers and do big things. Kind of the 80-20 rule. But you got to tell yourself, you're like, are you truly passionate about what you want to do? Because if you're just doing it for the money and just doing it for another side, you're going to burn out. You're not going to last, and people aren't going to really hear you because you're not being authentic and speaking from the heart. We had a VSO that we fine-tuned that it was like all about like the benefits, and it was all about what you're going to get and the value, and look at who I'm associated with, and yada, 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 yada. And it was doing okay. And then I said, well, I don't think these people trust you. You need to go deeper on the pain. How did you get to the place that you're at now? He was like, whoa. And he went really deep on his pain and his struggle and his failure and being misled and all these different things, and why he was able to come out on the other end, and why he was passionate about coaching, because he didn't want to see anybody else go through that same process, being financially strained, having arguments with his wife, not seeing his kids for long periods of time. Like, now that's real. And you're coaching from that place of pain because you've been through the fire. And that's the reason why on the other side, you're going to be inspirational and you're going to be able to lead people because you've actually freaking been there. So you can actually coach people through those finite details that if you haven't been through the process, you haven't built the real business, you haven't done the work with your partner, whatever it may be, then you really can't coach people. So I would say really tuning into that and knowing like, yes, do you genuinely want to coach people? Because when you start coaching people, really start building something, you better make sure you're continuing to have mentors and coaches that are pushing you to get better. Because when you start teaching and really diving in, it's like, you got to keep getting better and keep investing in yourself. You want people to come invest in you, you bet your ass you're still investing in yourself and still growing, because you need to, in order to raise the ceiling for when you have higher level students come in, you're always growing to be able to continue to add value.
I love that. I agree with you totally. In fact, for me, the coaching side and group coaching and personal one-on-one coaching, the reason why I created the Fix Your Belief Systems brand, the Fix Your BS brand, and wrote a book and all the stuff I've done with it, it has very little to do with the money. The money's kind of the reward on the back end. What it has more to do is this personal vendetta almost, because I've been through that pain like you were talking about, And I just want to help people compress time so they don't have to spend 10 to 15 years going through trying to figure it out. I can give you the shortcut, and that way you can compress time and have a better quality of life, really is the purpose of that. But I really believe that it has everything to do with me becoming the best version of me I can become, so I can help others become the best version of them that they can become. And all they have to do, I can give them the information, all they have to do is step into it every single day. Step into the things that I already know, the principles of life that I know. And I know so many people have that potential if they would just get rid of their ego and get rid of their emotional, that fear that they have, and say, look, I know I can teach people. And if somebody doesn't resonate with that, that's fine. But I know there are people out there that do. And I love that you said authentic, because being authentic is the highest form of vibration. People can feel it. They're like, oh, dude, this guy's being real. He's not trying to sell me on something. Like, the reason why we have to exchange money in the process is so the person on the sales, the person that's buying it takes it seriously. I've given away so much information for free, and I know you have too, that is valuable, that could create people millions of dollars, and they don't take it seriously because they didn't pay for it.
Yeah, there wasn't enough pain. There wasn't enough sacrifice. There wasn't enough commitment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You know?
Dude, I've loved having you on here, dude. Like, I could sit and talk to you for hours because I love what you're talking about. But any final, last, if you could give somebody one piece of advice, you got the last piece of advice you could give somebody, what would that be?
That's a loaded question.
That's a hard one. That's a big one.
Saying specific to the topic, I would say, you have a gift. You were put here on this planet for a reason. All of the experiences that you're going through, whether you're struggling, whether you've made a ton of money, whether you lost a ton of money, those are all learning lessons to get you closer to being your highest self. I would say pay attention to that. Don't get stuck in the yo-yo effect. Keep moving forward. And if you really want to go out there and be a coach and add value to the world, just pour into yourself and create something that really will be the best out there, that will really change someone's life, save someone's life. Because I've had students that have come through and be like, dude, you saved my life. Like, literally, I was at the end of my rope and I listened to one of your messages that just woke me up. That's why I get up and do this. And you have the opportunity to impact somebody's life in a positive way. So my greatest advice is to choose to wake up, be the best version of yourself, because you never know whose life you can change.
Man, that's really, really great advice. What if somebody, totally understands that? They're like, dude, that makes so much sense to me. How can they reach out to you, and how can they come to you for help in order to create their business or even start to scale that coaching business?
So my Instagram is Chance_Welton, CHANCE_WELTON. And I have the blue check. At this point, I have 40, 50,000 followers. There's a lot of fake chances out there that are trying to sell people on Bitcoin and copy trading, all kinds of crap. So ignore those.
We will add the link. We have the link here.
Okay.
So click the link. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get the link to you guys. And just DM me the word coach. Just DM me the word coach. And I'll have a lot of great information for you on how to get started in a coaching business. That's all for free. Just check it out and kind of start to put these things into frame for you, so you see what really goes into it. A lot of people think oh, I'm going to be a coach. I'm going to go make some cool videos on Instagram and I'm going to make a short little membership site and then that's it. And it's man, there's a lot of work that goes into this, but it's extremely rewarding to see people transform in a very short amount of time. So I will give you a free guide of how to start thinking about this in the right way and how to really understand what goes into a coaching business and how to be successful at it.
Appreciate that, Chance, for sure, man. And really, if somebody's thinking about, man, I know how to help somebody with whatever I've dealt with in my life, you need to get the information, because you're right. There is so much more that goes into it on the digital side than you think. And if you have somebody that will guide you through it, I know we've done some stuff together too, but if somebody can help guide you through it, it gets rid of a lot of the pain, frustration, time wasting, and money wasting. I mean, all those things. You can put a lot of money into this and not get any results. So you need somebody that's going to guide you through that. So Chance, man, I really appreciate you giving this information and advice to people. I love the final, piece of advice you gave. That is so true. the whole purpose of us being here is to experience and help others. I mean, have experiences and help others. Make sure you look at his Instagram. The link is below. You can click on that. You can DM the word coach to receive Chance's free training on how to scale your coaching business. He is the man. Him and I met earlier this year, and it was one of those instant connections. We've had a lot of fun this year in working together in different projects, and look forward to continue working with this guy in the future. If you want to work with him, DM the word coach. All you have to do is click on the Instagram link that we have below, or you can go to the bio that we have listed. So thanks, Chance, for being here. Really appreciate you, man. And I can't wait to see what you can do in the future, because you have created so much momentum and so much wealth for other people that I know you're going to continue growing and expanding and becoming the best version of yourself that you can be.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you having me here. And just looking forward to all the great things we're going to do in the future. And for all of you listening, if you are like fired up and you want to see change in the world, it all starts with yourself. You build a community, you build a culture, you can build a movement, you can have massive change. I challenge you to do that. DM the word coach. Look forward to speaking with you.
All right, Chance. Hey, everybody, this has been another episode of Fix Your BS, where we talk about belief systems in 5 major pillars of life: relationships, business or career, health, finances, and belief or faith. And we're trying to help you build your dream life under your terms. And that is what we are doing with the Fix Your BS podcast. Thanks again, Chance, for being here. Go to his Instagram page, Chance_Welton, CHANCE_WELTON. DM the word coach to receive free training on how to scale your coaching business. Until next time, this has been Fix Your BS. I'm Dr. Greg Persley, also known as Dr. G. Thanks for watching.